going on? Today I'm here with Hovigan, accompanied by
Hello.
Hovigan, and we are going to be talking about, yes, as you see on my screen, Stan Lee and his creative genius behind Spider-Man.
'Twas
Uh, I
magnificent.
believe I'm pretty sure that he wrote that. Yeah. Oh,
Avengers.
he says he co-created Spider-Man. Co-created.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And because the new Amazing Spider-Man 2 is coming out, we are going to be talking about some of the creative stuff that they have decided for that. So first I'm going to ask Hovigan about his opinions on Stan Lee.
Stan Lee, I like the guy. He has plenty of good ideas, except for the one where Spider-Man was not put into the Avengers. Other than that, he's a pretty good guy.
Would you like to expand on that Spider-Man not being put into the Avengers?
Other than it being completely stupid, sure. Well, he should have been. They could have done without Captain America, to be honest. I was never a big fan of him. He doesn't really fit in, I guess. Because, I mean, we got a freaking god, Thor. We've got a guy in a giant suit of armor with laser beams.
Iron Man.
And we've got a guy who turned into a giant green monster. I don't think a guy with a shield kind of fits in there.
Or a lady with a pistol, or a guy with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about them either.
You're basically
Spider-Man.
all you're saying is like you really hoped that Spider-Man would have been in it.
I had really hoped that he would have been. Well, I mean, it's not like I knew that he wasn't going to, but I was hoping they might do something with Spider-Man.
Like
So,
it'd be kind of cool. Be like, oh hey, Director Fury like comes up and he's like, oh we're gonna Captain America has been frozen in ice for the past 60 years again. Spider-Man has been alive for the past 300 years. We're gonna put him in the Avengers finally.
yeah, Captain America tripped and fell into a lake in Michigan, so we're pulling the extra recruit out. Who's that, sir? Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Isn't he unstable? Nah, he's fine.
Okay,
He'll-
so next up we're gonna go over to the Tobey Maguire page on imdb.com, which I do not know what that stands for. He is most known for Spider-Man, that was made in 2002, Spider-Man 2, that was made in 2004, Spider-Man 3, which was in 2007, and Pleasantville in 1998.
I love
What are your thoughts on Tobey Maguire?
I want to fangirl all over him. He is just like I love Tobey Maguire because when I was younger, all I would watch was the Spider-Man movies over and over
Oh
again.
yeah. I would
Yeah,
just totally watch the Spider-Man movies over and over again, and
yeah.
I love them. They're great. They're great to watch. They're totally for people. I mean,
Yeah.
just to see them. And I also like some of the new stuff they did with the newer Spider-Man. They had some flaws. I think they had a couple of flaws in the newer Spider-Man, but they kind of stuck to the storyline.
Yeah, I guess. It's just the reason that I was able to watch it repeatedly was because Tobey Maguire was in it. Because he pulled it off so well. Because he is the only Spider-Man.
Okay.
Because and plus,
I
let me just add this. He's supposed to be a nerd. He kind of pulled
true
that off pretty well
true
too.
yes.
The new guy,
The
not
new
so much.
Yeah, he didn't really pull off the whole nerd aspect of it. Um, he
Yeah, when
didn't
you're
he didn't make he didn't make the whole nerdy aspect. And by the new guy, I'm so sorry. I meant Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield would
right,
totally. He didn't really pull off the nice nerdy aspect. You're right, the nerdy aspect of Peter Parker. And I think that Tobey Maguire pulled that off perfectly.
yeah, because you can't be a hunk and be a nerd at the same time. It doesn't work.
True, and I feel like Toby just had that kind of personality to him that made people want to rewatch the movies over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I did. I mean, that's what we all did.
Okay, so next up, Andrew Garfield. What do you kind of like or dislike about him?
Uh, well, I dislike a lot of things. Um, he he's not a bad actor.
No,
He's
no,
not.
he's
It's
definitely
just
not a bad actor. He's
it's
a
just
pretty good
the
actor.
thing is the thing that he has to live up to what the standards Tobey Maguire set, and that is just one of the hardest things because if he was in any other movie, I would have loved it. Um, but because it was attached to the Spider-Man name and because it was Tobey Maguire's legacy, he just didn't have what it took to bring that up. So
Yeah, and I think that Andrew Garfield. I mean, he has his work cut out for him too because unlike being a normal movie, like being it's a brand new movie out or
yeah.
something, and you're the star of it, and you come out with it. Spider Man's already been done.
Yeah.
And
This is a series that so many people know and love and expect so much of that the next movie has to be something spectacular. And I just don't think that this movie measured up.
and that's why that's why in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 they added the electric guy. I don't know his name, Electro or something like that.
Yeah.
They added Rhino. They added Rhino to that. I think they added Doc Ock as well.
Really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they added Doc Ock to this second one, and it just I feel like it's going to be a step up from the first Amazing Spider-Man movie.
There's so much that I would have preferred to happen. Like, because Doc Ock is already dead. I mean, because if they were to follow the storyline from the other Spider-Man, which is what I wanted to happen, which a lot of people wanted to happen, was them follow the storyline up from where Tobey Maguire left it up off, even if it's a new actor.
Yeah,
That's the least we want. But of course, they just came in with this brand new. They're pulling a Man of Steel.
they're pulling a Man of Steel, and they're pulling like a kind of like a Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball, but not as bad.
Yeah, yeah.
In a
They're
way, they're pulling a Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball because they
yeah,
wanted to see, hey, what's gonna happen now?
yeah.
What's gonna be the next thing that's gonna happen with Spider-Man that's gonna just keep making people want to watch it. Now, I'm not saying that people aren't gonna want to watch this because I sure as heck I sure as heck want to watch Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying is, it's gotta it want to keep people on the edge of their seats when they're watching this,
yeah.
like every other like action movie or every other Marvel flick. Um, which is something else. I mean, these are really great. I mean, if I take a look over here at Amazing Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2012, that was a good one because he had, they had, Lizard Guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
uh,
I can't remember his
I
name
don't
off the top of
remember
my
what
head.
it is either. But I'm not like
Yeah,
super Spider-Man. Like I read the comics. No, I didn't read the comics. I'm not more of a I'm not like a comic kind of kid.
yeah,
I like watching the movies because you bring out film, you bring out something exciting, something new, and that's what'll kickstart the new future.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's the reason film was so popular. It brought stories to life the way reading really couldn't.
and
Not to
it's
say
not
that
saying
reading is
it's
bad.
not saying reading it. We're not saying anything about reading is bad. Yes, you can by reading books you can get this nice imagery,
Yeah,
and most people their films come from books, and that's how it all
yeah,
happens. That's why the Spider-Man came from comics. That's why
yeah,
Stan Lee and the other creators of Spider-Man were smart enough to like, hey, let's make this great storyline, and we're
yeah,
gonna put this all together and make it a great
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Books. There's so much imagery in them that's how movies were born.
Exactly.
It's because of the imagery.
That's just the most perfect way that things like film was created from so many different things, and I mean I seriously I cannot wait for Amazing Spider-Man 2 to come out. If there's gonna be an Amazing Spider-Man 3, but I kind of doubt that's gonna happen. Amazing Spider-Man
Yeah,
3, but we're gonna have to wait and see.
yeah,
Um, uh, what because we were okay, so we're gonna go back to the Tobey Maguire thing with the standards that he's set.
yeah.
What standards do you believe? What are the standards that Maguire will have to pull off in order to get about to the same level as Tobey.
You mean Andrew Garfield?
Oh, sorry. What did
Yeah.
I say?
You said Andrew Maguire.
Wow, wow, wow. I'm sorry, Andrew Garfield. What do you think
uh,
is gonna be,
well,
Andrew? What do you think is gonna raise Andrew to about that level of Toby's level? I'm just gonna go by their first name because
well,
I'm done with this.
besides, yeah. Besides the fact that he essentially would need to become Tobey Maguire, he needs to follow the way. What he needs to do, he needs to think, hey, how would Toby have done this? How did he captivate the audience so much that they wanted to keep coming back and watching it and watching it and watching it again, even if it's an older movie?
hmm
Um, the those are the standards that Toby set. That's the main golden standard. Is they want to see it again. That is probably the most important factor
Yeah, like
in
just
that.
just just that whole feeling of, hey, I want to come see this again. This guy's good.
Yeah,
I want to see this again. And it's not. We're not saying Andrew Garfield's a bad actor. We're not saying Tobey
yeah,
Maguire is too good of an actor to be uh for Andrew to catch up. We're not
yeah,
saying that at all. They're equally talented in their acting.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing
I
is, there's eye catching
yeah.
pieces.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's all about the connections you make from a book to a movie, such as The Nerd. Because Tobey Maguire, he's not exactly a hunk, but as far as I know, but
It's
he,
like we don't know that.
yeah, he kind of turned into one in the movie. But at the beginning of the movie, he's not exactly a hunk, and that makes you think, hey, when I read the comic book, he was a nerd too. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, so I mean, it's those kinds of things where you make those connections where you think, it's that's one of the most important things is just making those connections, and that's what captivates the audience.
Yeah, that I mean, the totally just, you're right. It does captivate the audience that, hey, they're sticking with the storyline. And with Andrew Garfield, his character's more set in the realm of, let's be a spunky kind of kid. Sure, he still gets bullied and he still gets all this other stuff done to him. It just it it adds to the aspect of being more just, out of the ordinary. If
Yeah.
you're more out of the ordinary, because Toby's character, when he played Peter Parker, he was in kind of just a normal guy. He was a normal
Yeah.
guy, and then he gets bit by the spider and he gets all these superpowers.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
and
In Andrew's case, it he you of course you see him get bullied and they're trying to pull that off, but it's just if you think realistically, is that really what it would have been like if he was actually in school and he actually looked like that? What well, of course he actually looks like that, but
yeah,
that's
yeah,
just is that what really happened? No, it's not. Of course not. He would have been the guy pushing the kid into the locker, probably,
yeah,
unless he's a
probably.
really nice guy. But
That's the kind of the portrait I got. It's you can't nowadays with some actors, you can't like just throw glasses on them and say you're a nerd.
yeah,
You can't do that.
yeah.
They
Sometimes
gotta they have to like really really be able to look the
yeah,
part and act the part. With his spunky hairstyle, I don't think he could have gotten the more nerdy aspect of that.
yeah, and sometimes it's not even no matter how good of an actor you are. Well, I mean, while you can change your face, you can't, change your face. I mean, so because I mean, he looks, not he doesn't look like a nerd, but he can act to be a nerd all he wants.
Yes.
But that's not gonna count for anything unless he looks the part and even if he in school he was a nerd and he like when he was actually in school and he experienced that he knows what that is. This is the level of concentration and um and just energy that goes into acting is from personal experience, your looks, your everything. You put yourself into the movie.
Now I feel that the 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 what is it? The costume crew for the Amazing Spider-Man. I feel like they could have done something a little bit to make him look more your more nerdy aspect, yes, but and then have that creative thing like he gets the powers, but like not to make him like selfish, I could say. Not to make
Yeah,
him look like really selfish, but be like, hey, like I can see now. He can see.
yeah,
And he can then, mess with his hair from there and go up his hair up from there or make it back to his normal style and then have that in say that's your transformation. He's going from this to this. And that's what Tobey Maguire's character had portrayed. He was going from, hey, I am nerdy, but and then going into his transformation. But he didn't like it's not like I'm not saying he's like transformed a ton. He looks totally different. No,
yeah,
it's not that. It's he transformed in a way that, he's got his physical features up, but his character still has that niceness, and that's what Peter Parker is supposed to be. He's supposed to be a nice guy who is willing to do whatever it takes to keep people out of harm's way.
yeah, yeah. He just that's because that's the definition of Peter Parker essentially. Yeah. Now the costume for Amazing Spider-Man looks a little bit different than the original movie, which
I
I'm
can
not
take a
sure.
look about that. Let's see here.
Okay.
Amazing Spider-Man costume.
Now the difference in costumes, it's most likely not symbolic for anything, but if it were to be, it shows
Oh,
the
I
difference
just got a
in
bunch of kids costumes. I mean, costume replica. Would it be replica? Would it be under replica?
just say Amazing Spider-Man costume. But
Oh,
anyways, the
okay.
the uh, the Spider-Man that we know um, looks his costume just I don't know. In my opinion, looks a little more plain. But in the Amazing Spider-Man, where he's proud, he's arrogant, it it just looks shinier, brighter, just more pronounced, and that seems to really reflect his personality
Okay,
out of anything.
I think I got the costume changes from the old one and the new one. I could be wrong though. Yeah, I kind of got these okay-ish. We've got the Tobey Maguire. We got the back. I think yeah, the back of Maguire. The new Spider-Man costume that they came out with. It looks more metallic-y, more
Yeah,
carbon steelish.
shinier.
It's more shinier.
Yeah.
It's more of a show. Let's show off the costume. Now, if you go into the costume that Tobey Maguire wore, so Tobey Maguire's, if I can spell his last name correctly,
See,
Maguire, uh, Spider-Man costume. Images of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm gonna say thank you to Bing for helping me find out what these look like.
oh
So
God, Bing.
we have to thank our sponsors somehow.
Where's Google when you need it?
And I think the differences between these two costumes is the Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man costume, the one that Tobey Maguire had worn, was more of a cloth and it looked more or less like you could actually find it.
Yeah.
You could
It
actually
looked
like
more.
you could
The
actually
old
make
costume
it.
looked more like he was wearing rags, and he was more humble about it. In the new movie, he looks like he's wearing just a giant suit of armor, and just wants
Yeah.
to show it off.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I wouldn't say like wants to show it off. For some reason, I don't know why. Like, because I got a back picture of it. I need a front picture of this. No, 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 no. I just went to it like an old person. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. Oh, here is the what you call it? The front cover to looks like Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, front cover to Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, this one looks more. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna probably say like well made. It looks more like it's had a team of people work on it. Whereas Tobey Maguire's costume for the Spider-Man looks like he could have done it himself.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm not. I'm not crazy about it. In essence, I'm not crazy about the new costume. Just it kind of deters from the humble personality.
Yeah, in a way, yes. And there's another thing I would also love to go over, and we're just gonna leave the two pictures up, and I'm just gonna occasionally switch back and forth between the two Spider-Man photos. Um, Another thing that oh, I lost him. Oh no, I got you, bro. I got you. I'm so sorry. You still there, Park? Buddy? Still there?
Oh, yep.
Oh,
Yep.
you're
Looks like
back. Okay, that's good. That's good. That was close. That was a close
yeah,
call.
yeah,
But the other aspect that made me come back and watch the original Spider-Man again was the amount of the amount of ridiculous things that they had done. The amount of yeah, just the ridiculous things. Like you have him, you've got the hairs coming out of his fingers, and that's
yeah,
what's getting him to climb the wall.
yeah,
But in the newer one, I don't think that was a part of it at all. I think it was just like, hey, I'm strong enough to do this, or
yeah.
I've got the webs. And I
You
also
just
I did like the part where I did like the, you know, with the one that Tobey Maguire was in. I did like the part that hey, we're gonna make this punch against was it Blaze? Is his name Blaze? Is the bully's name Blaze? I'm pretty sure it is.
all right. I
Do you
no,
know of that?
I do not.
I'm gonna go with Blaze or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was Blaze, or it was something like that. Uh,
He was a bully,
he was a
essentially.
bully. Let's just say the bully,
Yeah,
because this whatever it was, everybody was a very good actor in that. Let me just get that straight.
oh yeah,
And everybody that's in the new one are very good actors as well. We're not trying to pull anybody down
yeah,
or do anything like that. But on to my other point is the thing that actually got me coming back to the old one, to watch the old one and compare it to the new movie, was, say, you have the cafeteria scene where he has the webs, and it came out and it attached to his tray, and he flung his tray and he hit the bully in the back of the head with the tray, and that gives you kind of
the
oh
nerdy
the
essence.
nerdy the nerdy kind of. I love it how we're going back to the nerdy aspect in
Yeah,
every single topic that we're trying
that's
to.
essentially what made the movie,
Yeah.
and that's why because everything goes back to that nerdy aspect.
And having it, hey, what's going on with that guy, what's going on with this guy, and then just the ridiculousness of the punch itself, the punch that he
Yeah,
threw at him, and the nice slow-mos where the fists are coming in on him, he just moves and it hits. That kind of brought me back to it. And
yeah,
when he punched, it gave him the most ridiculous punch that they could possibly have done, to send him flying 20, 30 feet back
mm.
into, just 20, 30 feet back.
Yeah. Yeah, it went to show the immense change in strength that went on in Peter Parker's body because you can see that he's shocked by the fact that he was able to punch him back like that. He's not used to the strength because he was never used to having any strength at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I do know that because I want to get into the film industry myself, I know what these actors have to go through. They have to go through hell just to get ready for these kinds of action um,
Yeah.
movies, essentially. Like Toby and Andrew, I believe would have to had to have done immense workouts in order to just get their bodies in physical shape for the film, and
Yeah.
that's done at multiple months at a time just to get those together and work on those out.
Yeah, Toby had to get ripped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just as you see from what, I don't know if it was like a suit, a bodysuit that they had on, or he was already ripped or something. I don't know
It
what it
looked
was.
pretty. I
It,
mean,
it looked pretty real.
a good filming trick, an older filming trick, is just make him wear baggy shirts.
Yeah, that
Not
too. But they had to have him he
Yeah.
got the spider bite and he ripped his shirt. He didn't rip his shirt off. He pulled his shirt off, and he's got a little bit of
Oh yeah.
chubby, and and then he wakes up the next morning. He's muscle, and
Yeah.
that was an eye catcher. That was an eye catcher to that. And I believe they did the same thing with this movie as well. So actually, Hovigan, we're gonna end on that note.
All right.
And is there any other Marvel that you would like to go over in the next episode of this? To go over just comics or something like that. I kind of would like to go over, say, Captain America and the Avengers. I wanted to kind of go over the Captain America, the first Avenger, the movie, and the Avengers, the movie, and try to compare them as much as I can
All right.
to the comics or something.
All right.
Or if you guys have any other topics for us to go over and talk about, and you guys can listen, that would be great too. We're going to say our goodbyes now, and we will see you on our next video.
All right. See you guys.
Okay, see ya.